Today, we have a very special guest, John Matthew Lorega, who just recently graduated as an architect. We're excited to get to know him and listen to his story about his journey through architecture school and share the lessons he learned along the way. Let's welcome him as we go into this inspiring conversation. Sir John Matthew Lorega, thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited to hear your story and experiences, especially now that you achieved such an important milestone of graduating as an architect. We're looking forward to learning more from you about your journey, your challenges, and your inspirations. So the first question is, as a graduated architect, what communication challenges did you first experience when presenting your designs to clients or senior architects?
Okay. So I think the challenge that I met during meetings with the client is actually based on my experience ang first client ko kasi is Korean, and the challenges was the language barrier, of course, no. uh Pag yung Korean nag-e-explain kung ano yung requirements niya, napakahirap. Dahil hindi naman sila gano'n ka fluent pa mag-English, so I have to really uh, listen kung ano yung gusto niyang iparating. So, that's based on my experience.
Actually, I have 10 questions po para sa inyo po, and that's the first question po. And the second question is, how do you make sure that your design ideas are clearly understood by your project team or clients, especially when they are not familiar with technical terms?
Yun nga. Since my first clients was Korean and our projects are based in Philippines, of course there are many terms or there are many technical terms in the Philippines that are not familiar with the Koreans. So I really have to search for it. I take advantage of the, cell phones, our internet, so that I can show to them, you know. Kasi, of course, Google can translate everything, even the vernacular terms pagdating sa construction. Pag mga ginagamit lang dito natin, sa local sa Pilipinas, I have to type it on Google and then show it to the Koreans, then they will understand.
Oh,
No? Uh, I make sure na naiintindihan nila, of course, para along the construction, walang magiging problema. They will not ask questions. So, before engaging sa construction phase or any other projects, you have to make sure that your ideas or their ideas, naiintindihan mo din kung ano yung gusto nilang iparating. Not just your idea na gusto mong iparating sa kanila, but kung ano yung requirements ng client, yun din ang maintindihan mo. So that there will be no challenges, no, along the, kung ano man yung talks na pag-uusapan nyo.
thank you so much for your answer po. I really appreciate your perspective, and grabe pala yung hirap ng ginawa pala no? So, the next question is, in school, we usually present to professors. How different is it to present and defend a design in the professional setting po?
Yung time na nag-present ako sa mga professor ko, actually, may 1 year preparation yun. Of course, thesis. No? I-prepare mo siya ng talagang mainam yung pagkakapresent mo. So that, when you present to your professor, dapat alam mo din kung ano yung sinasabi mo. Pero pagdating sa professional setting, iba na siya. You only have an overnight preparation. Minsan, an hour. An hour before, magpe-present ka na sa client. If there are sudden changes pagdating sa project, you have to think minsan less than an hour. So in the professional setting, you have to think. You have to have critical thinking, no, and you have to understand what the client needs. Para hindi naman necessarily na dapat alam mo lahat. Kasi may mga inputs din yung clients na pwedeng matutunan mo din along sa presentation.
When working with engineers, contractors, or suppliers, what strategies do you use to communicate your design intent clearly?
If you're going to present the design, you have to tour them in your plan. kung ano yung intent mo doon sa design mo. You have to take a tour with them sa design mo. Hindi ikaw yung mamanduhan nila. But then, sa aking experience, you have to still open the table for them to have suggestions. I-open mo pa din. Kasi may mga times na isasuggest ng engineer na architect, mas okay siguro na ganito. Ito gawin natin. So, you have to review that.
How important is sketching or diagramming during client or team meetings when words are not enough to explain an idea po?
Yeah, sketching, croquis, kung anong tawagin natin in vernacular term. Very important. Since, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko, most of the time, Koreans ang client ko, Ilocano, Pangasinan, iba-iba yung language, Tagalog kasi. But nakakapag-engage ako sa mga clients na with different mother tongues.
Yes.
So, sketching is very, very important. No, kasi we are built for that. No? If you can speak it through words, you speak it through your drawings. Kaya dapat yung drawings mo is very clear for them.
Thank you po. So, the next question is po, can you share a situation where lack of communication affected your work process? What lesson did you learn from that experience?
So, ganito yung nangyari, no? Na-start namin yung project ng hindi nakababa yung plano. So, nandun lang kami, naglagay lang kami ng mga staka para gawin yung footing. Nandun yung staka. So, nagpunta kami sa site ng mga staka. Wala pang drawing yun. So, kami lang nagsukat ni sir. So, sanabi lang namin, sige, pahukayan nyo na yan, simulan nyo na yan. Ang nangyari, iba-iba yung sukat ng hukay nila. Kasi walang naiwan na drawing sa kanila. Do kahit sabihin mo na lahat pare-pares ng sukat, may magkakamali pa din dyan. Lalo pagdating sa pag mag-i-install na sila ng bakal, kailangan naka-communicate ka sa kanila. Laging open ang communication nyo. Laging naka-ready. Pag tatawagan mo yung foreman sa site or tatawagan mo kung sino yung mag-handle ng site, kailangan open ang communication ko. Kasi the next day, maraming perang masasayang kapag merong lack of communication.
Thank you for that detailed answer po and with that wonderful or harsh experience po. No? So the next question is po is, during your first projects, how did you adjust your communication style when talking to clients compared to talking with your mentors or bosses?
Since yung first project ko is dito lang din naman sa lugar namin, alam ko yung mga problems sa lugar namin, bahain. So talagang in-insist ko sa client na ganito, ganyan, hindi pwedeng ganyan, hindi pwedeng ganito, taasan natin ganyan. So kung ano yung naging influence ng mentor ko sa akin, yun yung naging influence ko sa first client ko. Pero hindi ko masasabing maganda yon or masama experience. Ang importante kasi, you are learning doon sa pinupuntahan mo.
That's really helpful for especially the point about sa communications and sa experience towards the pagiging as an architect. The next question is, what methods or tools like CAD drawings, 3D models, or mood boards help you most in communicating your ideas effectively to others?
I think SketchUp, hindi niya nabanggit yung SketchUp, but actually SketchUp is very, tawag dito, madali siyang gamitin, madali siya pang present.
The next question po is, how did your experience in college, such as creating sessions or group projects, help prepare you for real-world professional communication?
Group projects, I think, not much. Kasi hindi rin kami nagkaroon ng mga group projects. I think once nagkaroon kami. Kasi mga pandemic graduate kami during pandemic. So, groupings like that, hindi nangyari. But I think, groupings, working closely together, very helpful. And, you're open for critics. And you're getting the ideas.
Grabe pa, I didn't know po na you're pandemic graduate po, no? Kasi puro hirap nung panahon na yun.
Hirap.
So, this is our last question po for you po, Sir Noriega po. Sorry, Architect Loriaga. The last question is, what communication advice would you give to architecture students to help them be more prepared for working in architecture firm after graduation?
Mm. Number one, you have to learn how to speak English and communicate it very well. You have to speak very fluently. Pagdating sa English, you have to use English all the time so that you can look professional. Lahat ng terms ng pinag-aaralan kasi natin is in English. So you have to present it in English. And you have to practice also your communication skills. You have to always speak publicly. You have to always speak your ideas to your classmates. No, kung ano yung mga ideas na meron kayo, you have to share it. Para pagdating sa real world na magtatrabaho na kayo, you are confident to speak with your clients. No? Sometimes, pag ako lang mag-isa, nagsasalita ako, paano ko i-interpret ang tungkol ko. So, yun ang ma-advise ko, no? Sa paano makipag-communicate. Number one, you have to learn how to speak English talaga. And you know how to deliver it very well. You have to, of course, fix your grammar, ganyan. Maging decente din. Maging decente din sa pagsasalita. And speak out your ideas always.
Wala, no? I need to practice my English pa.
Oo.
3 years.
Anong school kayo? NU. Oh, dapat.
mo.
Kami simple lang yung pinag-graduate namin. Actually sa real world ko lang din na practice yung pag-engagement ko sa English. Kasi napaka-importante. Kasi lalo din Korean din yung naging clients ko, so I have to speak English talaga.
I understand po. So, ano po, na-experience din pala to practice English.
Na,
So, that's it po. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I really appreciate the opportunity to learn more about the experience of being an architect po. Your insights have been incredibly valuable, and I'm excited about the potential to work together. Hopefully. I look forward to hearing from you soon po ulit. Have a wonderful day, Architect Loriaga po.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.